Today is a very auspicious day, appearance day of previous Acharya of our Sri Chaitanya Gauriya Math, Nitrila Prishta Param Puja Srimad Bhakti Bhusan Bhagavat Gosvami Maharaj, one of the dearest disciples of Srila Bhakti Deita Madhu Goswami Maharaj. So I'm reading here from his biography what they gave. His mother, Srimati Goshta Bala Devi, was a pious woman. His father, Sri Sukhmoy Natwa, was a rich landlord. His parents had 4 sons and 1 daughter. He was third among them. The name given by his parents was Srinivas. In young age of 27 years only, he surrendered his life in the service for the devotees. During the year 1950, founder Acharya of All India Sri Chaitanya Gauriya Math, His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Deita Madhu Goswami Maharaj, Vishnupadji, was so pleased with his services that he awarded him Harinam initiation, Mantra Diksha initiation, and saffron clothes to him on the same day. This is rarely seen in Vaishnava world. His Diksha name was Sri Narayan Prasad Brahmachari. Maharaji was quite dear to his Gurudev since young age. He served Tezpur, this is a place in Assam in India, Math in charge for about 56 years. During this time, he spread the reach of Gauriya Math Tezpur extensively. Since many years he had been and is still organizing Sri Navadip Dham Parikrama every year. He also rebuilt the temple and satsang hall of Sri Gauriya Math, which was established by His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada. This is in Assam, this Math Tezpur, North Assam. That was opened by Prabhupada Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, but because Prabhupada ordered our Parangurudev to preach in Assam, so Parangurudev was preaching everywhere in Assam. So after the disappearance of Prabhupada, he was also managing all Assam preaching. And after when he came out from Chaitanya Math, he also got this Math to manage, and another one in Sarbhog. That was also established by Prabhupada just before his disappearance. And it was in that place, in Sarbhog, that Prabhupada told him, you have to preach here in Assam. So this Gauriya Math is meant here. He also planned and oversaw the construction of Samadhi of his Gurudev, a large hall, grand main entrance, etc. at Sri Chaitanya Gauriya Math, Sri Dham Mayapur. And also that gate mentioned here, but later on he made now where big hall for Prasad is there, called Acharya Bhavan, in 2 stories. He wanted to make for Prasad hall for all the Navadip Dham Parikrama devotees when they're coming, and also he wanted to make a larger room for our Gurudev to stay, that Acharya Bhavan. That is why he told like that. But Gurudev was already then becoming that illness pastime, so he did not use that room. He stayed in his old one that was also renovated. So this one, but it was his desire to make it for our Gurudev. And you know, in our Mayapur Math, during the time of Parangurudev, that Radha Kunda Parangurudev manifested behind our Math. Radha Kunda, And there is a pipe from Ganga, underground pipe. That Ganga is filling that Radhakunda pond. And he installed it as a Radhakunda, Parangurudev. Then later on, Srila Bhagavat Gosai Maharaj made a Shyamakunda there. And with all the ghats around Radhakunda and Shyamakunda, now there is also Govardhan there. So he made that. And also our Gurudev installed that Shyamakunda in 2012, I think, yes, 12. And Bhagavat Maharaj was in such mood that he said, Vaishnavas are very merciful. Like we generally complain, no one wants to do anything. Why they are not doing? But he had another vision. He said, Vaishnavas are very merciful. They are not doing this construction work in Mayapur to give opportunity to me. They are very merciful. He did not complain against others, but he saw it as a mercy for him. And he also made one building residences behind. Now, I don't know if that is finished yet. Last time it was not. And I heard from that boy that he planned to make another Goshala also in Mayapur. So here I'm reading further, or in between I can say, because his brahmachari name was mentioned. Today I heard from our Srila Vishnu Maharaj what he spoke in Harikatha about him. It was in Hindi. Maybe some detail I did not, I'm not sure, but I understood the main point. You remember that there was one very learned person, double MA, master degree in some subject, and somehow he became attracted to Prabhupada and took sannyas from him. And he joined the Math. Then he saw on the stage many stalwart disciples of Prabhupada. They are giving Harikatha, like Srila Bhakti Rakak, Srila Gosai Maharaj, our Parangurudev, then Srila Bhakti Hridoy Bongosai Maharaj and others. So once he came to Prabhupada's room and said, I know you are very busy. I cannot request you this. And also, if I approach any of your disciples, they may not give their time if you don't directly order. It is my desire that I should learn Bhagavat philosophy. I don't know. I joined the institution, but I don't know Bhagavat philosophy, so I cannot tell you. And if I go to any of your disciples, they may say, no, Prabhupada did not order. So I came to you. Then Prabhupada said, you want to know Bhagavat philosophy? I said, yes. Really, you want to know? Yes. Sincerely, really you want to know Bhagavatam? 3 times Prabhupada asked him and he said yes. And I said, okay, then you go to Ram Das Prabhu. Ram Das Prabhu was in Chaitanya Math. He was serving cows and working in garden. Outside people, they thought he is some servant of the institution. They are paying and he's serving there, like doing this sort of service. And he was very simple. So this sannyasi, he was surprised. How? Why Prabhupada is sending me to him? Okay, I will go. And he came to Ramdas Prabhu and said, I want to learn Bhagavatam philosophy from you. Then Ramdas Prabhu very humbly said, I don't know anything. You better you go to learn from some other, my God brothers. They can teach you. I don't know Sanskrit. I don't know any shloka of Bhagavatam. I don't know Bhagavatam. Then that sannyasi inside, he was thinking, yes, I also was thinking like this when I saw you. So, okay. Then he went away. After a few days, again he approached Prabhupada and said, I know you are very busy, I cannot request you. And if I go to any of your disciple, they may say, no time, I want to know Bhagavad philosophy. Then Prabhupada, with annoyed mood, he said, I already told you to go to Ramdas. Then he said, I went to him, but he said, I don't know anything. Then Prabhupada became more annoyed. He said, he knows everything. You have to learn from him only. You have to go to him. He knows everything. You tell him, I send you to him. Then again, sannyasi had to go to Ramdas. And he said, Prabhu, actually Gurudev sent me to you. I should learn Bhagavat philosophy from you. Then Ramdas heard it is the order of Prabhupada. Then he, okay, it is Gurudev's order, then I have to say something. But I don't know anything. I don't know any Sanskrit or these shlokas. I don't know. What I know is that this garden is not ordinary garden of some people for their own enjoyment. It belongs to Guru Gaurango Gandharvika Giridhari Vitis. So I am serving here. I am growing vegetables and everything. Then they are offered to deities and to Gurudev Prasad and to Vaishnavas. And these cows, they are very dear to Krishna. So if I serve them, Krishna will be pleased. And their milk is offered to Guru Gaurango Gandharvika Giridhari deities, and then prasad is given to Prabhupada and to Vaishnavas. So this much I know. And also I know that in this age of Kali, one has to always chant Harinam. So while I'm serving cows and when I'm milking them and serving and when I'm working in the garden, I'm all the time chanting Harinam. Without Japamala, all the time chanting Harinam, repeating Harinam. When I have some time, then also on Japa, some rounds, fixed number, he's chanting. That much I know. Then that sannyasi was astonished because this Ramdas Prabhu, he was not speaking any theoretical knowledge, but he was fully established in pure devotion to Krishna, sincerely from the heart. And he was realized in that. And he was fully happy. So that made a great impact on that sannyasi. He was astonished. Hearing these simple words, but they had substance in it. What was that substance? Was pure devotion. And that is the point of Bhagavatam. That is real Bhagavatam. Not some external knowledge or like this, but the point of Bhagavatam is pure devotion, and he is established in pure devotion. So he is non-different from Bhagavatam, Bhakta Bhagavat, and he really knows Bhagavatam, what Bhagavatam is about. One may know Sanskrit and he may memorize many shlokas, but unless he is devoted to Krishna 100%, purely for his satisfaction, he does not actually, cannot understand what is the point of Bhagavatam. But he knew. That is why Prabhupada knew that he knows, and he sent him to him, because Guru knows about his disciples, how they are doing bhajan. Krishna is in the heart of everyone. Guru, by the revelation of Krishna, he can know everything, what is going on in the heart of disciple. So he knew. He's a real Bhagavat. And as a contrast, there was another person, I told, that he was quarreling with his wife and he left her, like out of protest, and he went to stay in the mud. But his target was that his wife will be sorry and will regret, and she will come after him and apologize and bring him back home. That was his target, why he went to the mud. But while in the mat, he was doing all the services, everything. Whatever Vaishnavas ordered, he would do. Then when Prabhupada came and there was darshan time, then they introduced him. He's one new, and he's doing all services very nicely, very nice devotee. Then Prabhupada said, yes, but he's speaking all the time, something. He's very talkative. And all were astonished why Prabhupada is saying he's speaking so much. He's always silent. Whatever we say, he's silently doing. Not complaining, nothing, only doing. Then Prabhupada revealed, the point is, inside his mind, he's always speaking. When my wife will come here, when she will apologize, when she will take me to home, when will I again see my child, when all the time he was thinking and speaking this inside. And Prabhupada knows everything because he's a realized soul. So we cannot deceive Krishna or his pure devotees. Then, after some time, that person left the mat. He wanted to give a lesson to his wife, but he got lesson. So he was not having proper target. Like here, this sannyasi, his desire was that I want to sit on the stage like these Maharajas, and I want to speak Bhagavat philosophy, and then everyone will say, oh, very nice, Jai, very good, you are so learned, you know everything, Jai. For this name and fame, he wanted to learn. That is why he was thinking he will be sent to one of those. But Prabhupada, out of mercy, compassion, he wanted to make him understand what is the purpose, not name and fame. That will not give us any satisfaction, that will degrade us, but you should attain devotion to Krishna. That is what is the point. So he purposely sent him to Ramdas Prabhu. And here Prabhupada also knows why this person came. And another case in our mat in Calcutta, during the time of Gurudev, there was a big famine in Calcutta. No food, no nothing. So one man was begging and was suffering so much. And then one brahmachari of the mat, he was compassionate to him, and he told him, then why you don't come to stay in the mat? There is prasad, and you will get cloth. Only you have to observe these rules and regulations, no smoking, all this, and Ekadashi, you do this, and it's okay. So he agreed, he came to the mat and was taking prasad, and he became very healthy, very good, but he did not come to Harikatha, to hear Harikatha. Then brahmacharis, they said, you have to hear Harikatha, you are in the mat. This is not a hotel, it is meant for Shravan Kirtan. Then he said, I like prasad seva. They told him, every time you are coming for prasad, why you are not coming for Harikatha? He said, I like prasad seva. I like to serve prasad, but when I hear Harikatha, then I get headache. So I'm not coming. The point is, he had no desire to hear Harikatha. He came only to fulfill his material needs. So what happened? After a short while, he got opportunity for some job somewhere. Immediately he left the mat, and he also stole one clock from the wall. He took with him. So although he was staying in the mat, but what is his target? Krishna knows and Gurudev knows. So this happened. So today I heard from our Srila Vishnu Maharaj that once one very learned person, he was studying in Kashi, Sanskrit and scriptures, all this. Then he became attracted to Param Gurudev and took Harinam from him. Then he was also in preaching party, traveling. Then he started to request, our Gurudev was that time secretary, you also give me opportunity to speak. I know Sanskrit and everything I know. I want to speak also. Then they say, okay, you speak 10 minutes. So he was speaking, and at the end of that speaking, he said, our Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Daita Madhav Goswami Maharaj, Param Puja, like this, he is preaching Sanatan Dharma all over India and Harinam all. But I bless him that he may do even more in this way. Disciple. But he was new, and he was in previous sanskaras still. So then, when Parangurudev came to know, they said, you are very good, you know much Sanskrit and this is very good, but you don't know about this Vaishnav etiquette and also Vaishnav Siddhanta, this you don't know. So that you have to still learn. This is okay, you know Sanskrit, but this you still have to learn. So you should go to Tezpur Gauriya Math, Assam. There is one Narayan Brahmachari, means Narayan Prasad Brahmachari. He can teach you all this. Parangurudev sent. Then he went there and he saw Narayan Brahmachari, very simple person, and with gamsha and like this, he was all the time serving something, all the time engaged, looking very simple. Then he thought, how he will teach me? The same way. But the point is that for Vaishnavism, you have to learn from Vaishnava. So Parangurudev understood that Narayan Brahmachari is a real Vaishnava, natural Vaishnava. So he can teach him what is Vaishnav Siddhanta and what is Vaishnav etiquette. Disciple should not pronounce, I am blessing my Guru to do better preaching. That is not proper. So in this way, Parangurudev sent him to him, and there he got all knowledge about, practical knowledge about Vaishnavism. So after that also, when Parangurudev opened Calcutta branch, first that rented place, so he called Narayan Prasad Brahmachari. He was there serving as a pujari in that beginning month, then again in Tezpur. In 1970, Maharaj accepted sannyas and became Tridandi Swami Shri Srimad Bhakti Bhusan Bhagavat Goswami Maharaj. On 9th May 2018, as per the desire of His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Tirtha Goswami Maharaj, ex-President Acharya, the governing body of the Math and other Vaishnavas appointed him as the president of the institution or Acharya. So now, here is what Srila Bhagavat Goswami Maharaj is himself telling. Two incidents in his life that were very important to him too. So I'm reading. During those days, my Gurudev, His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Daita Madhav Goswami Maharaj Vishnupad, was at Tezpur, Assam, engaged in preaching programs. One night, I got up at about 2 a.m. and went to the bathroom. On the way back, I saw that the light of Gurudev's room was on. I wondered if Srila Gurudev left the light on and went to sleep, or whether he slept while sitting on a chair. I took gradual step towards his room, contemplating whether door was also left open. I thought if Srila Gurudev would be awake, I would submit humbly to him to take some rest before Mangal Arati begins. As I drew near to the door, I pressed my hand on the door, which fell open. I was surprised to see that Srila Gurudev was chanting Harinam. I offered my obeisances and requested him, Guru Maharaj, it is very late now. It is about 2:30 a.m. May you please take some rest. We are going to have Mangal Arati at 4:45 a.m. After that, you will be engaged in preaching programs the whole day. Srila Gurudev smiled and said, Narayan, what can I do? My chanting rounds are not yet over. Then Maharaj saying, I was spellbound and understood that chanting fixed number of rounds daily is very essential. Although Srila Guru Maharaj preached whole day, he inspired lot of people to do Hari Bhajan. Still, he was waiting to finish his fixed number of rounds before he takes rest. I heard from Gurudev also this. Parang Gurudev was preaching whole day. No time. But after 10 p.m., when everything was finished, then he was chanting till whole night sometimes also, chanting Harinam. Bhakti Thakur also. Or like you see Srila Sai Maharaj also, he woke up at 1 a.m. and then he started to translate. And then preaching whole day and like this. So they are doing real bhajan. So he understood that chanting fixed number is very important. Mahaprabhu told it is there in his Mayapur when those devotees, householders with Sukriti, they came to him and begged for his blessing. He told them, you repeat this Mahamantra, Iha japa giya sobe korya nirbandha. You have to chant fixed number of this Mahamantra. By this you will get all perfection. Also there was one, now he's a sannyasi, I know him in our mat. He was sometimes chanting 8 rounds, sometimes 16, sometimes 32, sometimes like this. Then other devotees, they told him, you have to chant some fixed number, like a minimum. You can chant more, but some minimum is there that you should not come down. That is fixed number, they told him. Then he said, I never heard from Gurudev. He never told me that I have to chant fixed number. So he did not take that very seriously. But when Gurudev was in Apollo Hospital in 2006, I think, no, maybe before 2004, the daily time, Apollo one time, so very weak in hospital, so only some devotees were allowed to visit him in the room. Then this, maybe he was already sannyasi at that time, I'm not sure, or maybe brahmachari. He came and bowed down to Gurudev and did not want to speak anything to Gurudev or ask or whatever, just he was bowing down. But when Gurudev saw him, his face, very weak Gurudev, he told him, Shankya Nam Koro. Means in Bangla, you have to chant fixed number of round. Then the devotee was astonished. How Gurudev knows that this is there? Then from that time on, he started. So Gurudev is omniscient. He knows everything, what is in the heart, what is necessary, even when playing pastime of illness, everything. So fixed number of chanting is important. The next incident, in the year 1970, I met Srila Guru Maharaj. That was the same year when he took sannyas. I met Srila Guru Maharaj with 2 brahmacharis. We explained about our planning that we would prepare and print short advertisements, pamphlets, and distribute across villages, cities. We also told that we would publish short booklets and distribute them. Our preaching team would perform Nagar Sankirtan across those villages and cities and would organize preaching programs. In this way, we would have also collected some money for the service of the mat. I also explained Gurudev who all would go where and how much time would be spent at each location, etc. Means he was giving about the preaching these programs. Srila Guru Maharaj gave me a patient hearing while sitting on his chair. I was sitting near him on the floor. Once I completed my proposal, he whispered in my ear, "Won't you do Harinam?" Harinam here means chanting, not Nagar Sankirtan, but chanting on Mala. I went quiet and felt chill in my spine, thinking I had been explaining vivid plans, and he so politely said that. I immediately recalled words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, "You must practice what you preach." This was also, I remember, our Gurudev told many times. Some Western devotees, they came to Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, and they start to explain to him about that preaching program, this preaching program, all the time preaching this, that preaching. Then Puri Goswami Maharaj was listening patiently. Then ultimately he said, "What preaching? What preaching? You have to do bhajan. You have to serve Krishna." That is the point. We have to be engaged in the service of Krishna, and by that we can inspire others. But if preaching is only for preaching's sake, just to instruct others, and for some achievements, I sold so many books, I collected so much money, I gathered so many disciples. For this achievement, that is not actual preaching. Preaching means you have to inspire jivas to engage in the service of Krishna. But this you cannot do unless you yourself are fully engaged. So Puri Goswami Maharaj said, you do bhajan first. Example is better than precept. So here also, Parangurudev also told, okay, all these things, but you will not chant Harinam. Then further Maharaj is telling here, since that day, I decided that even if I may not be able to do enough, but I will at least chant 1 lakh Harinam daily, means 64 rounds. Since then, whether I have lot of services or not, whether I'm busy or not, I always chant 1 lakh Harinam daily. So this touched what is the importance of chanting Harinam. That is the main thing. So I met Maharaj in 2000, maybe before already I met, but I don't remember. But I clearly remember in 2011 when I was in Mayapur, there was Nityananda Trayodashi. So he came and he spoke Harikatha at that time. That I remember. And also I saw him. That was very impressive to me. Maharaj used to go to temple, that big hall, and would sit on the stage on some asana and facing the direction of deities. That is quite a distance between that stage and deities, but he would sit there and facing the deities, and he would chant with great relish. I saw that it was going very smoothly on Japamala, and with great relish, with taste, he was chanting, seeing those deities from far and chanting. So I was very impressed by seeing that only, how he was chanting. Then in 2018, when I was in Mayapur for Kartik. That time also he was there, and that time he was already on wheelchair most of the time. Very sweet Vaishnav, always smiling, but also very strict because he was Pujari before, and he used to ask Pujari, what is this, and he used to instruct, but with love, how he should make, I saw. And all the time chanting Maharaj. Whenever you see him, you will see him with mala. That time he was chanting more than 1 lakh, 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs. He was chanting. And daily he used to, in his own that room upstairs in a Acharya Bhavan, outside on the that one terrace was there was a Tulsi. Daily Maharaj spent a lot of time to worship Tulsi there, with all different articles and doing parikrama and everything. Tulsi in the evening he did. And then one day I bowed down to him. He asked his sevak, he is also disciple of this mat. Then they told, yes, he is the disciple of Gurudev. Then he was very happy. Then they told him, I can understand some Bangla. Then Maharaj was more happy. Then he started to speak and I would reply, and he was very happy. Then during Jayadvani, after Arati, Mangal Arati and Sandhya Arati, they gave me this seva that I have to hold the mic for Maharaj to say Jayadvani after Arati. And Maharaj was very ecstatic all the time, and like this, and sometimes that direction, sometimes this, speaking Jayadvani, so I had to follow with mic. But it was very nice how he was with, not as like some kind of forum routine, no, it was, everything was very lively. He was singing the glories and praying for with that Jayadvani. And then one day he saw me and he said, Ek kaj ache. It means there is some work in Bangla. He said, Ek kaj ache. Then I told him, Ki kaj, what kind of work? Then he explained to me in Bangla, I cannot repeat now, but he explained there, in front of Acharya Bhavan, there are many plants in those plants there, and some tulsi, so they need water. They are becoming dry. Then he said, can you do it? Then I said, when? When should I do it? Then he said, when Apna Richa, when it is suitable for you, according to your desire. But he said, but now they are dry. So I understood that it is better I do it immediately. So immediately I went to water those plants. So this seva. And another, I came to his room to wanting to ask him something. But that in front of his room, Sevak's room was there and he was inside the room. And when I came, Maharaj was doing his Gayatri, Sandhya. I saw when I came, he was on the bed and doing. And his Sevaks told me that now it is not possible to speak. I said, yes, I see. So you wait here. Then I waited, and then Maharaj came, and they start to speak with Sevak, something they start to speak, and there was some discussion. Then in between, already they were so engrossed in that speaking, then they said there will be Harikatha soon. Then Maharaj suddenly said, because that time he was old, 93, so doing the pastime of losing memory, so he told, did I do Sandhya already? And the Sevaks were also confused. They were not sure whether or not. And then I was there, then I said, Maharaj, yes, you did Sandhya. I saw. Then he was very happy and fully peaceful. Okay, good. So this also came. Maharaj was very nice. Really, I can tell you, he's a real Vaishnava. Pure Vaishnava. If you meet, then you can understand. Realized so. And he would raise that consciousness. He would make everyone enthusiastic for service. And he would speak Harikatha every day. Gajendra Moksha, that time his eyes were not so good, so he could not read the verses. So instead of reading the verses, Gajendra Moksha for Kartik, every day he spoke like full Gajendra Moksha, only describing that there was a Trikuta mountain, and then all the description, and there was elephant, and he was going, and that story every day same, but every time it was very like new, like you never heard it, a living thing, and a very lively. He told that when Gajendra was there, then he was praying, "Oh Bhagavan." He did not utter the shlokas, but "Oh Bhagavan, you please rescue me, oh Bhagavan." And how Maharaj was saying this, you could feel, you could see that lila going on. Although he was not speaking shlokas, but the mood he made and conveyed to us. What was that mood? How Gajendra actually took shelter of Supreme Lord. And then Supreme Lord came and rescued. Every day he was speaking, same. And every time it was very blissful to hear that. And one time also, I could, there are some steps from Mandir to that lecture hall. So usually two sevaks, they would lift Maharaj together with wheelchair there. So I observed this. So one day there was one sevak was missing somewhere, and all others also, they were seeing here and there. So I thought, oh, now it is my duty. So I said, Jai Gurudev, and I went and I lifted that chair, and we took him up. I saw that now Krishna is giving to me. It was arranged. So then also one time I asked Maharaj in his room that I am in Slovenia and I am in Grihastha ashram. So how I should do bhajan? You please give me some guidance. Then Maharaj said, same as here. You should do bhajan same as here, as in our mat. Shravan, Kirtan, chanting, Diti, all, you do same. Then he asked me, that is in Bangla, that is Muslim country? I said, no. They said, okay, then no problem. Then there is no restriction, nothing. Then no problem. You can do like here, same. And then suddenly he remembered and he said, you chant a lot of Harinam. A lot of, you Khub Harinam Kor, you do a lot of Harinam. And then suddenly he remembered one verse from that song. I will read you that verse he told me. Bhajo Bhajo Hori, Mana Drita Kori, Mukhe Bolo Tar Naam. By Lochan Das Thakur. This line, Kiba Jyoti Soti Kiba Nicha Jati, Jai Hori Nahi Boje, Tobe Janamiya Bromya Rauravan Narake Maje. Whether one is renounced, he's a sannyasi, Jyoti. Whether one is chaste lady or whether one is low-born, it doesn't matter. Or high birth, this does not matter. If someone does not worship Hari, then he will have to take birth again and again. So Maharaj wanted to tell me, you should not think this is any kind of obstacle. You are in Slovenia, you are this, you are... No, this does not matter at all. The point is, you have to do bhajan. Then there was about that we should go for Harikatha in the evening. Then while speaking Harikatha, suddenly again, while Harikatha, he started to look at me, and another verse he remembered from Chaitanya Charitamrita, that if someone is a high-class Brahmin, that does not automatically mean that he is also a devotee. And that qualifies him to be a devotee. And if someone is low-born, that is not disqualification for him worshipping Krishna. And one who will worship Krishna, he is great. One who will not, he is not. That verse he told me there, again, in a very live manner, in between, looking, and then he was doing gesture like this, you understand? Not saying, but with his face, he asked me, you understand? Then I said, yeah, means I showed him, yes. Then he was pacified. Oh, okay. Then he continued that, Harikatha. So very nice experience. And Maharaj used to like, just before Kartik started, and sometimes during Kartik also, Maharaj very much liked, maybe this was his Antim Vani Lila, perhaps, means his last message, but he would recite and explain to us Chaitanya Upanishad from Atharva Veda, and there are commentaries of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So daily, and if someone would ask him some question, he would quote that. So I felt like our Gurudev, whoever came to him in last days, Gurudev would repeat that shloka to him. Jalajanavalakshani Stavaralaksha Vingshati, that shlok. There are so many aquatic animals, there are these animals, and then insects and like this. But human birth is very rare, so you should do bhajan. Gurudev told to everyone. Like that, Maharaj in his last days, all the time he was speaking Chaitanya Upanishad. So, after some time, not so far from now, it will be Maharaj's disappearance day. So on that disappearance day, I will, for his satisfaction, I will read that Chaitanya Upanishad at that time. So now also they made a very beautiful samadhi in our Mayapur Mat. And today there was a big program there, and many devotees came, many sannyasis, they were speaking his glories. And there was prasad distribution for all in that Acharya Bhavan, in that building which he made. So I have very good memories of Maharaj. I'm very sad that he left quickly. And yes, also one time he also told me, you have to chant 1 lakh. So I tried, but then I said to Maharaj, it is very difficult for me. I am unable. Then he said, okay, then you do as much as you can. Like Gurudev told, same thing. Do as much as you can, but you try on some special days. Janmashtami, Ekadashi, or some special days, you try to more. You try to more. Same thing as Gurudev told. So Maharaj is very nice Vaishnava. Now he's in Golok Vrindavan. So I'm remembering him with fondness and bowing down to him, praying his causeless mercy.